Hiya peoples of the interwebs! So this week we're doing something a little different. I'm going to be drawing Palworld pals as humans. So I know for the last few videos I've just been doing My Little Ponies, but I really wanted to mix it up because I do like drawing people. I ended up choosing 3 different pals to do. I picked Chillet, Chillet and Marth. I wanted to do kind of an early game one, a middle game one and a later game one, just to get some variety in there. Now, just a bit of a heads up, this video is way longer than my last couple where it's around 20 minutes long rather than 13, so just be ready for that. Altogether, the 3 drawings in this video took me 11 hours and 15 minutes to do altogether, with Chillet being the one that took me the longest to do. Anyway, I don't have any rules like I did with the My Little Pony drawings, I'm just kind of winging this one, so I'll leave you to the drawings. So I figured we'd start it off with Chillet, considering it's one of the earliest game pals you can find. You find it really early on the game, so I thought it was a good way to start this off. It's number 2 in the decks, just showcase how early on it is. I decided to do this a little differently than I've done Pokemon as humans in the past, where I wanted to draw lots of like small doodles to one side and a bigger finished piece off to the other side. So on one side I've got, it will just be line art, and on the other side I'll have a completely finished rendered illustration. I thought it would just like showcase more of not the character but the design that I decided to go with in like 2 different styles, where I have chibi on one side and just a normal kind of anime style on the other. For Chillet, I ended up going with this kind of like paper boy, I guess if that's the word, kind of look, with suspenders, lots of plaid. I just thought it suited really well the cat design. I thought about adding cat ears in, but I figured that's a bit of a cop-out, because I really wanted them to come across as human characters, not human-ish characters, if that makes sense. Now, I struggled a little bit with what to do with the little swoopy part of hair that's on the top of Chillet's head. I originally thought that I would use it as another piece of hair, but it just didn't work with the kind of cap that I wanted them to wear. I really wanted to give them the paperboy cap, but it just wouldn't work with a big swoop of hair also sticking out from under the cap. So what I ended up doing is kind of adding it like almost a feather to the top of the hat, and I think that ended up working a decent amount well. I off-centered it just to make it a little bit more asymmetrical and interesting, but yeah, I thought it worked out a bit better than just hair would be. It's a bit of a different way than how I would normally do things, at least. Now, something I really like doing with kind of characters who have the different coloured underbelly, and you'll see it a lot going forward into lots of my other designs, is having it be a different colour. Okay, wait, let me back it up. So, like, putting a jacket on, or like the suspenders in this drawing, just because it creates like an undertone with a t-shirt and something else over top. So it kind of looks like having that kind of underbelly colour without just putting like a patch on a t-shirt. It's something that I found myself doing in a lot of my Pokemon as humans drawings. And so it's kind of what I did here, but different. I did suspenders instead, just because I had a certain look I was going for, and the suspenders suited that way more. So another thing, I was originally planning on Chillet being a boy. I was like going for, young paperboy, but at a certain point I realized that their face looked way more feminine than what I was originally going for. So I played around with it a little bit. I thought, oh, maybe they're just like a girl doing girl things, I guess, girl bossing. But I still didn't want them to be just a girl. So I ended up settling on they are they them, they are neither or both. just because, yeah, I couldn't make that decision. And I think it suits them, so, yeah, no. I'm actually pretty happy with how the Cativa came out in this drawing, like the actual drawing of him in the final illustration. Though he is kind of giving Animal Crossing villager more than an actual Cativa. I kind of was winging how to draw them and wasn't 100% paying attention to the reference. I just kind of winged it, and I think that shows in the fact that it just looks like an Animal Crossing villager. But anyway, for the colours I decided to go with pretty much the Cativa colours, but you know, just change up where I put them. I didn't use as much pink as I originally thought I would in this drawing. I tried to mix it up a bit so it wasn't just flat pink. Like, I took the belly colour and I made that the button up top. And I ended up using lots of the darker, kind of warm grey colour from the ears, just in like the hat, belt and boots, just to make the drawing a little bit more interesting and so it wasn't just pink. And I think it helped the design a lot. Anyway, I don't have much more to say about this one, so I'll just let the Speedpaint finish it off and then bring you back in for the next one, which will be Chillet. So next up we have Chillet. So Chillet's probably my favourite of the three in this video. Well, honestly, my favourite pal overall. I just think Chillet's really cute. It's essentially a fluffy worm and I love it. Regardless, Chillet was the drawing that took me the longest time and was actually the drawing that I did first. I did all the other ones after this one. Chillet was my favourite, so I was just kind of messing around with it. But everything else I did afterwards. I wanted to put her in kind of like a floaty pose. I was kind of thinking about doing it with all the other ones, but I ended up making most of them just standing. But with Chillet, I put her in kind of like a floaty pose, just so I could show off the full worm behind her. Now there was only really two things that I knew I wanted her to have going into this drawing. I knew I wanted to give her some form of pigtails to allude to like Chillet's ears, and I wanted to put her in really wintry clothes. So after scrolling for a while on Pinterest, I saw like wool like dresses and I was like, that one, want that one. I wanted to do like cute idol girl vibes. I just think Chillet's really cute and so I just wanted to make her really cute, I guess. And so I gave her like buns and pigtails just to allude to the ears, and I messed around trying to figure out how to draw a woolen dress. It's not something I've really done before, so I was just kind of messing around with the textures. And in the end, while it isn't like perfectly rendered wool, I'm still kind of happy with how it turned out. But yeah, I ended up making her pretty much a cute anime girl. That was kind of honestly the vibe. I may have ended up cheesing it a little bit and covering her hands up with her sleeves. One, because I thought it suited with her like big clumpy feet with the original Chillet. Also because then it means I didn't have to draw their hands. But you know how it is. Those are artist cheats, baby. Cover the hands so you don't have to draw them. My first experience in seeing a Chillet in-game was essentially, oh my god, there's a giant fluffy worm, I need it. And then proceeded hours and hours of me trying to breed up a really strong worm. And then using it to fight a bunch of the bosses around the map. I love him, and I would die for him. He is so strong. I tried pretty hard for these drawings to not be zooming in and out a lot, because I know I do it a lot when I do draw people, because I'm trying to get into all the little details, so I kind of tried to limit myself a little bit on doing that. I do it mostly for the hair and stuff, so you will see me zooming in and out while I do all that, but I did mostly try to limit it. Now, if you couldn't tell, I am quickly running out of things to say about this drawing, so I'll just talk about some of the rendering I did, even though it's just the lineup going right now, because I don't know what else to talk about. So for the hair, I ended up messing around a lot with the rendering. There's a certain style I have been doing on my people lately, but it's been quite a while since I've last drawn people. I kind of go in and out of drawing, and I think the last few drawings I did were all How to Train Your Dragon drawings, before I swapped to My Little Ponies. And I think the last people I drew was before Christmas, like the last set of people. Apart from Chippies. That's the exception, baby. But, so I was trying to recreate here how I'd normally draw it, but normally I draw it on my Samsung tablet, and this is done on my computer, so it's a little different. So I just kind of had to mess around with it, and you'll see that coming up soon. Because I was trying to get it to look a specific way and was really struggling to emulate how I'd normally do it. But I got to a point I was happy with eventually. It just took a while of playing around, which is probably why this drawing took so long to do compared to the other two. But yeah, I'll pretty much leave it to finish itself off. That's pretty much all I had to say. Yeah, I've kind of lost what to say at this point, so I'll just let it finish. I'll bring you back in for the last drawing a bit later. See ya! it's time for our third and final Pal as a Human, and we are doing Marth. Now, this one is a request from someone that I know who wanted to see how I would go about drawing Marth, because he's kind of a weird little guy. For the longest time I didn't know what it even looked like because I couldn't find it. Spoiler alert, you find it in the snow at nighttime or in the caves. And he's got like a cool mask and like flame aesthetic. He's kind of ghosty in vibe, like mysterious. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with that when turning it into a person. I knew I wanted to give him a mask, and I knew I wanted to make him a guy. Apart from that, no idea what I was doing with him. I ended up making his hair really messy because I thought that fit with how spiky like the fur around the mask in the original design was, and I wanted to give him like a really colourful tie. So I ended up giving him a suit, but like a more dishevelled suit, where it's like untucked like at the bottom and just a bit wrinkly and stuff. I thought that if we were thinking about making like a storyline headcanon, this guy would be like, he's giving detective vibes, but also in kind of a way that with the mask, he's also like the person he's trying to catch. Like, not really multiple personalities, but like, he's definitely against the law, but pretending to be with the law, if that makes sense. It's a vibe, okay? It's giving Thai detective. Definitely the oldest out of the three characters here, with Chillet being kind of like young 20s and Kativa probably being in their teens a little bit more. But this guy's like, I don't know, 30s, 40s, maybe? Not really sure why I made that decision, but I just feel like it suited the vibe. I could have gone like in a more edgy teenage route, but I decided to do something a little bit differently than what I guess you'd first think of by hot detectives was the vibe. I don't know why. I struggled to get his eye right, and you can see that because I drew a bunch of random eyes because I got frustrated with not being able to draw it right. And when in doubt, I mess around until I'm happy with it. I ended up cheesing a bit around his like right side because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with that side of the jacket or his arm. And then I realised with how I drew the Marth in that drawing, it's just going to cover it. So, another artist cheat, I ignored it for now and came back and finished it later when the rest of it was covered, so I didn't have to think about how the heck that would work. I have since realised Marth's eyes are actually really circle. They're not like ovals, but I was drawing them as ovals, just to show that I kind of would look at the reference and then ignore the reference and just wing it. Which was a mistake, because I think the circle eyes looked way better. But, whoops, oh well, it's too late, I ain't changing it. It is what it is, baby. Now, Marth actually took me the least amount of time to do. I'm pretty sure that just is because it's the one I did the least amount of rendering with. I didn't texture it like I textured Kativa's plaid or the wool in Chillet's design. And I think that's just why this drawing was so much faster. I kind of got more of a hang of how I was doing the hair, so this one just didn't take me nearly as long as the other ones. But I don't have too much more to say about this one, so I'll pretty much just let it go until it finishes. And I'll bring you all back in for the outro. I thought I'd do something a bit different with the outro this time, so feel free to stay around and see what the hell I'm talking about there. But yeah. Hope you enjoy the rest of this drawing. now that's it for this video. So for this outro, I'm just gonna let me running around on my worm as a video just play in the background because I thought it would be funny. My really OP worm. But nonetheless, I hope you guys liked these drawings. This was something a bit different than what I've done the past couple of weeks on my YouTube, but something more in line with what I would normally do and what I'd normally draw. So I hope you guys liked this kind of thing because I'm probably going to do more videos like this one, so hope that's alright. Don't have much of a choice there. Anyway, like I said in the last video, I now have a Discord up, so feel free to join that. It's in the description down below. I'm thinking about doing some videos, maybe drawing people's characters and OCs. So if you would like me to draw some of your characters, join up there and I will create like a page for you to submit like pictures or descriptions, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that's it for this video. So I'll see you all later. Bye bye.